Nice. What's up, YouTube? Cool beans. We're on a roll. I always say cool beans at the beginning. I don't know. Sometimes I repeat myself. Guess I say, oh yeah, a lot too. What can you do? You're going to have some comfortable words you go through. Shout out Tommy for the, give me heads up on that. New rule, just going to kind of give it out there. I'm not going to call out who joins unless you give me like a thumbs up in the chat. I'm just going to basically pretend like you're not there so you don't run away. I know some people don't want to be called out. Wink, wink. But jokes aside, don't want to like blow anyone up. Want to keep people like engaging and stuff like that. Definitely, if you send some comments out there, just expect me to at least shout you out. But I'll let people just sit on as a fly on the wall. Doesn't bother me any. Big shout out to Pete Ockerbloom, one of my best friends. Happy birthday. Anyone, if you're watching this and you know him, you better rush now because you got about an hour and a half. Or you can always text him happy belated. If you're feeling like you're too cool for school, send him cakes and candles, bro. Just give him one of those. I've been sending that lately to people that I don't know that well. Cakes and candles, yo. Just kind of more as a joke. But we've been best friends forever. He got married this year, which was awesome. Got to go to his wedding. I guess it was August. And then, yeah, we just been best friends forever. We went to Germany together. Shout out Oktoberfest, a little bit of Berlin. Who is it, Lulu? We had like a little joke about this dude named Lulu. Inside joke. He was making out with like a penguin or something like that. Ton of inside jokes there. We used to love watching UFC together. Way back in the day, we'd get like drunk, watch the fights, and then we would just fight each other in UFC all night or like play NBA. Great times. Shout out Judy Ockerbloom, great lady, his mom. And then we bonded over Earl Watson. Funny little story about Earl Watson. Little basketball player, used to play in the Supersonics. Then he went to the Jazz. There was a time that he played against the Celtics. And we all went, me, Pete, Nick Layton, Jack Williams. It might have even honestly been Nick Hall-Famina. I'm not sure if that was the time where he almost split his head open, or he did, and that's another story in itself. But Earl Watson, first half dropped like 25 points. I don't think he ever in his career dropped 25 points and a half. It was amazing. We tweeted at him, or Pete sent like a Facebook message before and was like, "Wapa, yeah, let's go. Can't wait to see him play." And then 9 years later, Earl Watson actually reshared the same post, like Peter's post. So you can actually see on Earl Watson's page, like the time, what do they call it? Time hop or whatever. And underneath is like me, Nick Layton, Jack Williams commenting on it to each other because it was Pete. So that's kind of a funny story. Small world there. Gotta love it. One moment, taking a short break just because someone said they'd get on and I don't see him. So I'm just going to let him know I'm on live now. Cool. So just popping that out there. Yeah, I'll just say it again. Anyone who's joining, if you send like a like or a comment, I will shout out you being there. Otherwise, I'm letting people be flies on the wall. I found that some people run for the hills when I say what up too soon. So gonna lay it cool. But thank you guys for joining. Always appreciate that. Keep the supporters up. God, my handwriting's terrible. Oh, yeah, just want to say, anyone who wants to visit Myrtle Beach, if we were buddies in the past, as long as I know you in person, you're more than welcome to stay at my house. Would love to set it up, save you some money, enjoy the trip. I'm about like 2 miles from the beach. You might have to rent a car so that I can like get about my business, but I'm more than happy to help you. I'd even let you use my bike. So, consider it. Anyone who wants a nice vacation, play some golf, get out of that cold weather in Boston, hit me up. More than happy to hook it up. And ultimately, when you decide you want to live here, because why wouldn't you get out of that snow? I'll be your realtor. So happy to do that too. But jokes aside, had an open house that was canceled. The lady's daughter had COVID. So Saturday's actually canceled. But I am going to be having an open house on Sunday from 11 to 1. That's at 4661 Wild Iris. That's going for $269 right now. I'd like to see it come down a little, but we're not saying it can't be accepted and offered. It's a little lower. You're going to be right on a golf course there. Great short-term availability. And if that's priced a little bit high, my buddy Chris Nadelman, he actually has one in the same complex. Instead of it being first floor and golf facing, I'm not sure if it faces the golf course, but it's second floor. You're literally right on the golf course, and you're going to be able to get that for $235,000. I know it sounds like an ad, but I am just kind of setting myself up to have people show up on Sunday. And then I'd love to shout out Chris Nadelman. He's actually a firefighter down here, doing a great job of real estate. We were in the same kind of like classes together. He's part of BRG. Really great guy. I'd love to send him some business. Hey, I'd love for one of my buyers to buy with him, make it happen. It'd be a nice, smooth transaction. Nothing better than that. Uh, so I'm starting to be a believer in HOAs, especially after yesterday. So the HOAs there is like 450. Sounds crazy, right? But if you hear me out, you're getting internet, you're getting hot water, you're getting heat. All you're paying is electricity, which varies between like $40, maybe 120 if you're cranking that AC all the time in the summer. But hear me out. You're getting trash pickup. You're getting cable. Like I said, all that. I basically pay easily 300 or more just on those utilities, and then I have a $100 HOA because I have a pool. So you're getting a pool. You're on a golf course. Really not that bad when you think about it. If you just bake it into kind of the rent that you're getting, totally doable there. And if eventually you're breaking even and you get to kind of use the golf course and you just got to pay a little bit HOA, what's the problem? So that's my selfless promotion. I'm a little bummed. One of the houses that I was looking at for me and a potential business partner, it got an offer on it. And it's like, it's bittersweet, right? Because I wasn't quite ready to make the offer anyways. But these places that I'm looking in and honing in on, they keep getting snatched up pretty quick. So that means my eye is locked in. Like I'm seeing these deals, I'm running the analysis, other people are running similar things and snatching them. So I'm ready to buy. I'm basically just going to get myself pre-approved. If I have to use a partner, great. If not, it'd be great to be able to pull the trigger myself. But teach their own. We'll see how it goes. What's meant to be will be. Yeah, so I am familiar with IRR. I could calculate it. IRR can be a little bit flawed, at least from what I learned private equity there, Max. So IRR probably with real estate's a little more legit, where it's all based on time. Why it gets a little weird when I was doing in private equity is these places they learned ways to manipulate IRR, the internal rate of return. What they would do is they would use a loan, and so the IRR doesn't start to be calculated until what's called the funded amount. So once the investor pays money, that's when they started counting it. But they actually invested in it sometimes a year or two before, and they just use loans. So my IRR knowledge is like sometimes it can be flawed. With real estate, it's probably better. That's actually a good idea. Maybe a next step in my analysis would be to actually calculate IRRs. But it's easier said than done because you're using projections. You're not always necessarily, what do I want to say? You don't have the real numbers all the time. If you had the numbers in front of you, you could really do the IRR. And it's also tough because you don't really know what the market value is going to go up. Like there's probably certain plugs you can use, certain ratios or assumptions, but ultimately you're going to have some flaws in there for sure. It's not an art. I mean, it's not a science, right? Like it's going to be a little bit of art in there. If it was a science, we'd all be screwed because all these, big time investors would be crushing us. That's actually Zillow, I think, was doing something like that a couple years ago, and they had a big issue. Not saying anything wrong with Zillow. It was just kind of known out there that they had some issues when they were kind of investing, bought up a lot of the market share. I'm sure they did fine because prices have just kept going up. But no, that's a good reminder there. So I appreciate you shouting out the IRR pitch deck right now. Yeah, dude, I'll definitely take a look at it. I can't promise anything. I'm still a little new myself, but it's funny. Like, I know some realtors that have done a lot of, purchases, a lot of transactions with individual buyers, but they don't have that investor knowledge. I feel like I do have a decent investor mindset, but I'm trying to learn more. So I love these types of questions. I'd even love to maybe put it in front of someone who might know more than me. I got a few property managers that might have some details there. Always check out biggerpockets.com. They'll give you some great resources. Basically, just my hidden talent is just Googling and using resources ultimately. So biggerpockets.com is a great one. And yeah, feel free to reach out. We can get bump heads, and I don't know if bump heads is the right word, but we can definitely, get together and kind of talk about what it looks like. And even just hearing an outside perspective is nice. So it never hurts. Anyways, the other one I saw was a nice property. It had an in-law, so you could actually almost like duplex it unofficially, like a short-term rental. I don't know what the exact permitting is and like regulations there, but what was really cool is you're gonna have that ability to almost like rent two. The one bedroom is gonna be tough to get, but you could even almost like have someone living in the in-law because it had a separate kitchen, separate bathroom, separate entrance. And you can almost rent out the other part. So there's something unique about it. I wasn't in love with it, but when I was there was just a team of people like not even trying to bring research. They didn't speak English, which I love because it's just like my test of my Spanish skills and stuff and how bad I am at speaking Spanish. But they were just like, there was literally like 15 people on the roofs crushing the shingles, doing the new roof, brand new inside, everywhere's painted. And I was just like, lo siento, una pregunta, like, necesito, camino, like, all these terrible conjugations, but we were trying. They got enough. They were like, yeah, okay. I tried to say realtor. No idea what realtor is. So, anyone who knows realtor in Spanish, I know I can Google it, but throw it in that chat, always good to learn. Love the engagement there. Cool. So that's board number one. We're gonna toss that aside. My like cue cards. So golf got better today. You know, all my golf friends, fans, fanatics. Golf was better. I had a sweet par. So it was a par three. I put it right in the sand, right off the bat, and I thought I was screwed. Like I usually always hit it really light, and like I'm short, like 60 yards. So I hit this thing right in the sand. I was like, ah man, par three. It's gonna be tough to get out. I had to stay outside of the grass, on the grass rather, outside the bunker, and I hit a perfect money shot. Kind of left it a little bit like a longer putt, like a 20 putt. But they always say, if you get out, you get out. You know, that's the goal. When you're in the sand, getting out is important. I had the most awkward stance. Like I was basically like crouched down as low as I could, leaning back, gave it one of these, boom, popped it right out, money. And then I put it in for 25 feet. Like one of the longer putts I hit of the day was perfect to get the par. I don't get too many pars, which is sad. A lot of bogeys, a lot of double bogeys today, which I was just kind of leaving them like an inch from the cup. But it's getting better. I was terrible last week. Like it was, I'm not gonna lie, I was like a baby. Like I hate golf. I don't want to golf. You know, pretty close to that, to be honest. So we're hitting better. We're hitting straight. Corredor de bien. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up, Richard. That means realtor. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to say something bad. Corredor de bien of good something. I don't know. Running of like I don't know. I'm not gonna say something offensive in Spanish because I really don't know. But thank you for trying. Appreciate it. But yeah, basically was asking what realtor is in Spanish. If everyone knows, I don't. That's too many words, I think, Rich. But I'll Google it eventually. Yeah. So the other thing here. Oh yeah, I've been like opening communication. So there were some people who were like kind of not had a falling out, but I was just kind of needed to set boundaries. I don't think I'm fully there with my frustration and anger management. Still working on that for sure. But I opened the communication right, and I just basically set a boundary that like if we're gonna go down that road again, like probably gonna kind of distance myself. But it's good. It's healthy. I don't like shutting people out, like I said. So it's always good to have open communication. Both being adults, I still have a lot to work on in terms of frustration, but you know, no one's perfect, and as long as you're aware of stuff like that, you can always work on it. That actually reminds me, I do have a daily quote, or you know, I had the daily quotes, but I just had like a final reflection. And the thing that's a little weird about Marcus Aurelius is like they're translating from another language, so there's not like exact quotes. But the one that I have here is like reflect on the day's canvas, painting it with purpose and gratitude. So whether you said that exactly, I don't know, but like that's kind of a paraphrase from that. So, you know, reflect on the day's canvas, paint it with purpose and gratitude. That's what we're doing here. Like we're reflecting on the day, maybe planning for tomorrow. I think journaling is so important. And lazy me, like I don't have time to write in a journal. I actually have a way to take this and turn it into a journal. I've built the code. That's how lazy I am. I'd rather code a machine to do it. But yeah, anyways, you know, I like to journal. This is kind of my journal for myself. Sometimes I go back, like I watched some old videos a week or two ago, and I'm just like, who was that person, you know? But you learn a lot from looking like that in the past. You don't want to live in the past, but you can learn from it, and you don't want history to repeat itself. Cool, we'll keep moving. I used a teeth whitener today, and my teeth are so sensitive right now. Like every drink I drink, it's just like, oh man, a couple of them really get me there. Is what it is. Hey, shout out. We got 4 people on at once on Instagram. That's a big number. My little rule, just so you guys know, I see you there, but I'm not trying to call people out because it's just, I feel like people run for the hills when I say their name. But if you throw like a thumbs up, you throw something in that chat, I'll say what up to you. I'm just trying to keep people their privacy because I don't think many people can see who's there. Maybe it shows who joined. I'm not really even sure exactly. But once we, you know, trim the video later, no one actually even knows you're here. So if I don't say your name, no one know. But thank you for joining. Thanks for the support. Yeah, so I got some ideas. I actually have 3 event spaces potentially. One, my neighbor. If you guys want, it's kind of a smaller venue, but cool. There's like a ability to watch films in there, even maybe have plays. That is called Casey Art Studio, and it's like Kayce. It stands for like Kevin, and whatever the C stands for of his sister. It's a cool name. His dad's an artist. I always love promoting like small local artists as well as kind of like teaching artists about what's available to them. Maybe someone will love it. I'm going to speak to him Sunday. So after I get that, I'll promote out there like what it is. Another place I'd love to continue working with is just like Fresh Brew Coffee. Maybe at one point be able to do an open mic like just for comedy through there, which would be really cool. They don't really like let alcohol and drinks, which is like one way of making money, but I'm not opposed. Like I think having a sober type place for that is huge. I don't think you need to drink at comedy. I know they have like 2 drink minimums, but it's not needed, right? Big shout out Comedy Commander. They've been really great to me. So even though I'm talking about open mics, I'm not trying to compete with them. I think it's a little bit separate. I also think competition breeds better for everyone. Like that's a reason why Starbucks, Dunkin's next to each other, McDonald's, Burger King. When you know there's a hot spot for comedy, you're gonna have more. And I said it before, like golf in Myrtle Beach. There's a ton of golf courses. People come here literally for golf. So if we can have more places that do comedy, it's only gonna actually feed into more comedy fans, more comedians coming down. Good for everyone. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna get two quotes. Sunday I'm getting another quote before the Super Bowl for those event spaces. Really want to put one on at the end of March, kind of maybe coming into coming into April. Gonna try to set something up, and gonna be applying for a beer and wine permit. Maybe even go into like a non-profit so I can get the alcohol, but I'm not really concerned with that. Anyways, we're down to the last 2 items, which is dope. Comedy went well tonight, so I kind of have a new style that I might have mentioned a little bit. Big shout out, I think his name's Danny Sterling. Danny something, I'll post it in the chat again. Great guy, gave a lot of pointers. It actually worked well for me, so like kind of almost like emphasize or make a hyperbole on how nervous I am and with my cards, because I don't have my jokes memorized yet. They're literally, I've only said them 3 or 4 times when I'm actually performing. I need to read in front of a mirror. That's laziness, but it actually went pretty well. It's funny how it always sounds like everyone's laughing and like the camera doesn't quite pick it up as well. This might be one of the last times that I do post the full video because it's short enough, and I don't want to like lose all my jokes, but I do want to show like the improvement over just the 3 times I did it. Yeah, really excited. You know, like I try to move away from some of the offensive stuff, trying to put the offensive more on like the mirror on society, people who like deserve like spoiler alert. You know, one of my jokes is like, how about instead of saying like offensive slurs, we just call people pedophiles? And you know, if that offends anyone, like shut up, you're a pedophile. You know what I mean? So that's like the joke, is just kind of like making fun of pedophiles, and no one really has empathy for them. If you are a pedophile and you serve your time, great. I'm still gonna make fun of you, and you know you kind of deserve it. Last little thing I'm gonna say is, yeah, I'm just putting a lot into this social media thing. I know you're seeing me all the time. Maybe it's a little annoying, whatever, but I'm seeing the results. It's a slow burn. I keep learning about like how to get more followers. Obviously there was kind of like my joke post, like, add me, I need followers. It's just like honestly satire, but at the same time, just trying to like see if I can get more people off Facebook onto Instagram, and from Instagram to TikTok. I think I'm at like 44 followers on TikTok. Thank you, Richard. Great quote from Big Lebowski. But yeah, I'm at like 44 on TikTok. So if you have TikTok, add me. If you don't have TikTok, make a TikTok, add me, never use it again. TikTok's confusing as hell. It makes me feel like I'm like 80 years old. I'm like, what is this thing? I'm like liking videos, and they're from like 2 months ago, and I'm like, oh, that person definitely thinks I have a crush on them. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't even look at the date. So now I'm like, even if I like something, I won't like it unless it's like from the last, week or so. And that's something I got to get over. But yeah, keep following me. I'm actually kind of learning the ropes of how to get more followers. Would love for you guys to check it out. It's funny. I'm going to end with just a little bit of music. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I don't want to get like copyright thrown off. But here's a I almost said Chief Keef. Here's a Kodak Black song where they make it a jazz version. They said they compared it to J. Cole, and I just love it. I love the vibe. Like, this is what I would love to make music like. It really just inspires me. And I never even knew Kodak Black sounded like this. This was like he's like 14 years old. Makes me want to listen to him more. I still haven't quite made the transition into him. But before I press play, I do want to say thank you all for joining. Thanks for the support. I hope you're having a great day. I hope some of this like feedback, or rather my quotes and just my energy is helpful. We're at 18 minutes, a little bit long, but not too bad. We're under 20 minutes still. So, just keep it up. Give me the feedback. Let me know what can be better, what can be worse. Send me a private message. Send a comment on this later. Thank you for watching live. And, thank you for coming back and watching it after the fact. So here's Kodak Black. Hold on. I want to start from the beginning. Hold up. Alexa, volume 10. Kind of a long intro. I'm going to let him say a couple of lines and then I'll end it. But I hope you guys all have a great day. I'm vibing. I grew up looking at the niggas that be on the corner. I can't stop, cause if I stop, then I'ma disappoint. Niggas hate, but I ain't worried, no, I ain't worried about them. My only goal is to keep courage and make it off the bottom. Oh, I was raised by the Chinese though. Even though I ain't right, get caught on that. Thank you guys for joining. Have a good one. All right, so you know it. Sometimes YouTube takes a minute. Peace out, y'all.